Hello again, everybody. Gary Furman and Stephen Wagner here, and today we are talking about Miami's latest addition in the transfer portal, and that is one 6'5", 260-pound tight end from Oregon. His name is Cam McCormick, and I believe that he is going to make an impact on this year's Miami Hurricane football team. If you like this content on our YouTube channel, hit your subscribe button, hit your like button as we go forward. It helps us with the algorithms at YouTube. And if you're not yet a subscriber to canesport.com, make sure you hustle on over to our website and take advantage of our introductory special, which will take you up until the start of the next football season. We would love to have you part of our community. So, Stephen, Cam McCormick, a big tight end. Miami has other tight ends with size, but they don't have anybody with the physicality that this guy brings, which is why Mario Cristobal expressed interest in him in the transfer portal. And I think that he is going to show up and very quickly establish himself as a guy that you could put on the field on first down that is still a weapon in the passing game. I mean, I think he caught about 6 to 8 passes this year at Oregon and was certainly somebody that they could throw the ball to. But this is a guy that is a run-first tight end who is an asset to complement what's going on the offensive line. And you know the improvements they've been making there. And yes, it is no secret. Mario Cristobal would like to be able to run the football. Stephen, Cam McCormick is going to help that effort.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no real debate that Miami struggled blocking last year, both run blocking and pass blocking. Cam McCormick is someone who immediately makes you a little bit better at both. He's not going to single-handedly solve all of your issues, and he's not the kind of tight end who's, a Travis Kelce will single-handedly carry you to victories or anything like that. But kind of like how Branson Dean is going to be a stop guy on Miami's defensive line, I see Cam McCormick as kind of that role-playing guy at tight end. I see him as a guy who you can bring him in different personnel groupings. He's really, really good at what he does, which is run blocking. If you want to put him in the slot and have him chip defenders, he's really good at that. If you want to use him as an H-back or flex him in as a fullback or something along those lines, he's really good at that as well. I think there's a lot of things that you can do with this guy. Obviously, because he was a run blocking tight end, you're not going to find a ton of highlights on him online just because run blocking isn't exactly glamorous. But if you look at what he was able to do last year, he had the best year of his career last year. I think he had 10 catches, 3 touchdowns in 13 games. And his highlights, he had 3 touchdown catches. Every single one of them came off of some sort of play fake, some sort of RPO, something where he was faking a block and then releasing. His longest catch of the season was a 17-yard catch against UCLA, and all that was a fake screen where he faked like he was going to go perimeter block, and then he found a hole and jetted up the seam. And you'll see, because he is used so much in the blocking game, that whenever he does finally get into a point where play action is something that you can turn to, defenses bite on his play fakes so hard because of how much he's used as a blocking tight end that you'll find him wide open as a receiver. So I wouldn't say that, he's going to be like a Will Mallory type guy who's going to lead Miami in receptions next season. But I think that there's absolutely a place for this guy. And I think I would love to see him in some multiple tight end sets. Maybe next to Jaleel Skinner, if he can take that step forward. I think that's definitely something that could be a possibility, and something that I think fans would like to see if these guys can hit their ceilings.
Yeah, and Elijah Arroyo as well, who's going to be a factor coming off of injury. So let's unwrap a few things here. Okay, this guy has been a college football eligible player since 2016. Okay, a career just absolutely riddled with knee injuries, Achilles tears, you name it, Cam McCormick has had it. And but he made it through the entire season last year, Stephen, which proved that he is capable of doing it. And this is his last hurrah. And I'm assuming that he's hoping that Miami can provide a little bit better showcase for him as a tight end than Oregon did. Maybe a little bit more of a tight end friendly offense for him. So he graded out as a pass blocker, a little bit better as a run blocker, but that's unlimited reps. I mean, this is a guy that's primarily going to be a force in the running game. Expect him to come off the field when Miami knows that it's going to be throwing the football, say, on second or third and long. It seems to me like he is a first down tight end for sure. Other ways, maybe he could help is down on the goal line, I would think. When they go to 2-3 tight end sets, I would expect to see him there. But they're not bringing him in with the pressure of having to be everything because they're pretty good at the tight end position. We haven't even mentioned the freshmen that are coming into the mix there at tight end. So Miami's in decent place at tight end, but they did not have a physical run blocking dude that can go out there and move people. And to sum it all up, Stephen, when you look at the work that they've done in the transfer portal, all of these guys, for the most part, once you get past offensive lineman Javion Cohen, who absolutely is going to be a starter at guard, Francisco Mauigoa, who is going to be a starter at linebacker, Matt Lee, who is going to be a starter at center. I think these other guys, McCormick, Branson Dean, you mentioned, Thomas Gore, defensive tackle from Georgia State, Devontae Brown, cornerback, and I think they will get a couple more, are going to be more role-type players. And I just want to, people are looking for grand slams all the time in the transfer portal, and I get it. And, Matt Shodell and myself, we go at it on Good Morning Cane Sport with some differing philosophies on the transfer portal. Stephen, I think it's okay to not have to hit a grand slam all the time. These type of role players can be very significant to being a good football team.
I agree with this. Sometimes you don't need a home run. Sometimes all you need is a single. And I think that's what McCormick is. He's not necessarily going to be that guy who single-handedly changes your program, but every single team needs those guys who can come in and play that very specific role. This is a guy, he knows what his niche is. He knows exactly what he's good at. He's been in the league, he's been in college football since I was a senior in high school. So he's been around so long and he's grown so.
And he did go to college, right?
He's been in college.
I said you went to college.
Right.
Yeah.
I was a senior.
So we're talking a while ago.
I was a senior in high school when he was a freshman. I graduated college, worked outside of college for a year, and now I'm here and he's still playing college football. Like, if nothing else, he's mature. And a really good thing about a lot of mature guys is they don't come with these massive egos, especially someone who's gone through as much as he has, because I'm sure if you asked him, he would say, oh yeah, I would have done, just 4 years of college or maybe even 5 years of college, or, get really crazy and find the rare 6th year super senior, not 9 years of college. And so I think what they're getting with this guy is a guy who's mature, a guy who's been around the block a couple of times, and a guy who knows exactly what role he needs to play. He knows he's not supposed to be the guy who's going to go up and he's going to hit the grand slam. He's just going to go up there and get on base. And I absolutely think there's a spot like that, especially a physical run blocker on every single team in America. I don't think you will find a single coach who you can go up to and say, hey, I've got a physical run blocking tight end for you. He may not be Travis Kelce, but he's probably going to have a spot on your roster. I think every single coach in America would say, oh yeah, I'll take him.
No doubt. So nice pickup for the Hurricanes. I know we say that just about every transfer portal pickup, but I do think that the coaches are doing a good job of being selective and not treating the portal like it's just like some little toy over here. They're getting serviceable starters or very high-quality role players. That is a step forward to building a better team that everybody wants to see here in 2023. So for Stephen Wagner, I'm Gary Furman. We thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time, everybody.